The Middle East stands at one of the most dangerous crossroads in modern history. What began as long-standing hostility between Iran and Israel has now escalated into a conflict that threatens to engulf the entire region. Missile exchanges, proxy warfare, rising global oil prices, and international diplomatic pressure have created a volatile environment where even a minor miscalculation could spark a much larger war. To understand why the entire Middle East appears under attack, we must look beyond the headlines. This is not simply a bilateral conflict between two nations. It is a complex web of alliances, ideological rivalries, historical grievances, and strategic calculations that span decades. Part 1. Roots of the rivalry. Iran and Israel have not always been enemies. Before 1979, Iran and Israel maintained relatively stable diplomatic relations. However, the Islamic Revolution in Iran dramatically changed the political landscape. The new Iranian leadership adopted a strong anti-Israel stance, viewing the country as illegitimate and labeling it as a destabilizing force in the region. From that moment forward, hostility became institutionalized. Iran began supporting armed groups that opposed Israel, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and later Hamas in Gaza. Israel, in turn, viewed Iran as an existential threat, particularly as Iran expanded its military influence across neighboring countries. Part 2. Proxy warfare across the region. Rather than engaging in direct war, Iran and Israel have primarily fought through proxies. This indirect conflict has played out in multiple arenas. Lebanon through Hezbollah, Syria through Iranian-backed militias, Gaza through Hamas, Yemen through Houthi forces. Israel has conducted airstrikes in Syria targeting Iranian positions, while Iran has strengthened its missile capabilities and expanded its regional network. This proxy war has allowed both sides to avoid full-scale confrontation, until now. Part 3. Missile escalation. Recent developments indicate a shift from shadow warfare to direct confrontation. Advanced missile systems, long-range drones, and air defense technologies are now central to the conflict. Iran has invested heavily in ballistic missile programs. Israel, meanwhile, relies on sophisticated air defense systems designed to intercept incoming threats. Each interception represents not just a defensive action, but a signal. A signal that escalation is no longer hypothetical. Part 4. Why the entire region is involved. The Middle East is interconnected through politics, religion, and economics. When Iran and Israel exchange fire, neighboring countries cannot remain neutral. Lebanon risks becoming a battlefield if Hezbollah engages directly. Syria hosts Iranian forces. Gulf nations fear spillover instability. Oil exporting states worry about maritime security. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil passage, could become a strategic choke point. Any disruption there would affect global markets instantly. Part 5. Global powers enter the stage. This conflict does not exist in isolation. The United States has historically supported Israel's security framework. Iran maintains strategic partnerships with Russia and cooperates economically with China. Thus, regional conflict risks drawing in global superpowers. Diplomatic efforts intensify behind closed doors. Public statements urge restraint. But military assets quietly reposition across airbases and naval fleets. Part 6. Nuclear concerns. One of the most alarming aspects of the Iran-Israel rivalry involves nuclear capability concerns. While Israel maintains strategic ambiguity regarding its nuclear status, Iran's nuclear program has been a source of global debate. Negotiations, sanctions, inspections, and counter-sanctions have defined international engagement with Tehran. If nuclear thresholds are crossed, the strategic balance of the region could shift dramatically. Part 7. Economic shockwaves. Conflict in the Middle East immediately impacts global oil prices. Insurance premiums for shipping rise. Investors react to uncertainty. Energy-dependent economies brace for inflation. Even countries geographically distant from the Middle East feel the effects through energy markets and supply chains. Part 8. Human cost. Beyond geopolitics and economics lies the human cost. Civilians face displacement, infrastructure damage, and psychological trauma. Families seek shelter during air raid sirens. Schools close. Hospitals prepare for emergencies. The uncertainty of conflict affects daily life in profound ways. Part 9. Diplomatic options. Despite escalating tensions, diplomatic pathways still exist. Back-channel negotiations, ceasefire proposals, and international mediation continue. History shows that even intense rivalries can pause before crossing irreversible thresholds. Whether leaders choose restraint or escalation will determine the region's future. Part 10. What happens next? 3 scenarios appear possible. Limited strikes followed by de-escalation. Expanded regional war involving proxies. Direct sustained confrontation between Iran and Israel. Each carries significant consequences. The margin for error narrows with each passing day.